Okay, so hey, hi guys. Hello and welcome to my lecture 14, and this is going to be a very interesting lecture. So, guys, onto this particular lecture, onto this particular topic, what we are going to do, we are going to do multiple number of things. The very first thing that we are going to learn is that how we can merge onto our master branch. Let's say I am working on particular branch one, and I want to put my code onto the master branch. What is the command for that? Let's say I have created one branch from another branch, and now I want to simply update my code or merge my second branch with my first branch. What is the command to do that, right? So guys, for this particular part in which we are going to understand git merge on master branch and how merging is performed from one branch to another branch. So I have only created a lab section for it as of now, right? Because there is nothing much theory involved onto this particular part, and I think you guys would be able to understand it even more better with the help of hands-on and practical practical approach if you guys tend to follow that particular path, right? So guys, the second part that we would be discussing onto our lecture is that we are going to understand the very basic and very simple concepts of what is git reset and what is git revert. So I'll come on to these particular topics in which two steps are involved. Step one is for git reset and step two is for git revert, right? It is very easy. It won't take much time, and you do not need to go through any you know uh, cumbersome task of going through the entire theory and then learning. Just follow my lecture and your life would be easy as you want, right? So allow me to start it first, starting from the point that is git merge on master branch and then git merge from one branch to another branch. Okay, so let's start the lecture without wasting any more further time, right? Okay, I think there has been some issue with my server. Okay, I'll reconnect it. So, guys, for this particular thing, what I have done is that I've already created my EC2 instance as of now, and allow me to access it first, and then we can start it. So again, I'm doing it from the scratch because I know there are warrior peoples who want to learn everything in one go without having that level of patience. So it takes time, guys, in order to learn anything, even a very simple things. I mean, let me tell you one thing that the way I create my lectures, I normally create them in one go. If you guys have noticed clearly, or if you guys have seen that particular aspect, so my desktop timing always shows over here. So my lectures are not edited, then I do cutting and then I do pasting. It's just in one go, right? And it takes a lot of time and effort in order to do that particular thing. And if you are not thorough in your concept, even sometimes even I tend to forget that particular aspect of which I am doing. I tend to forget some of the commands, right? So so the main thing that I was coming to is that, guys, we all learn by doing a lot of practice. So keep learning and keep practicing a lot, right? Okay, so I'm logging onto my system as EC2 user. I'll elevate my privileges, sudo su control L, clear it out. Let me maximize it, right? So yum update hyphen y. So this is updating my EC2 instance, and after that, I'm going to install Git onto this particular system, and then we can go ahead with the concept of branches and Git merge and all. It is a very simple concept, guys. So don't get worried. Those who are seeing my lecture for the very first time, even from here itself, you can start. And those guys who are onto learning automation stuff and they want to learn the Git, uh, you can start any of my lecture and you would be able to understand, right? So now you need to install yum install git hyphen y. Git is getting installed at this point of time. I hope git has been installed. So which git? Yes, my git has been installed. Control L. Right. So what is my working directory? Home EC2 user. I'll make a simply directory. Let's say git demo. Right. I hit enter. Go to this particular directory. So currently onto this particular directory, onto this particular folder or this storage area, there is nothing, right? This is just a normal directory, it is just a normal folder. I've already told you earlier. But if I write this particular command git init, that is git initialize, so it will now make this folder I have told earlier, again reiterating everything. This is going to make this particular folder as your git repository kind of stuff, so you can understand in that particular fashion, right? So it's now not a normal folder, it's now a git folder, it's a git repository. And we are going to do something, because I'll show you what we are going to do, right? You already did it in my previous lectures, right? So I've initialized my empty git repository, and let's say create a file. Let's say I'll create a master file. So touch uh, master file one, right? If I do the git status for this particular file, git status says that this file has not been tracked, so you need to add it, so that it can go into my staging area, right? So let's say I'll add it, git add dot space dot, and if I do git status, so this has been added to my staging area, right? And now I need to commit it as well. Okay, you guys make sure, if at this particular point of time I write git branch, you are not going to see any of your git branch until unless you commit, right? So I hope when you guys are doing the lecture, please listen and please pay a very tight attention onto these very small things, because at this point of time, again I'm writing git branch, there is no particular git branch it is showing, right? Why it is not showing, I'll tell you guys later on, right? But currently it is not showing. And if I do git commit, let's say git commit hyphen m, my first commit from, let's say, master branch. This is just a message, you can type anything, right? You can literally type anything. So if you do git status over here, it says that now you are master branch and you have nothing to commit because I have already committed it. And now if I do this git branch, it will show me my git branch, right? So this was all about the things that we have already discussed earlier. I just reiterated for you guys, right? Okay, so what was our agenda over here? Let's say this is our git branch, this is my master branch, right? Does it contain anything? It contains a master file, right? So it means that it contains some sort of code that is present onto the master branch, right? So now allow me to create a new branch from this master branch. Okay, so git branch, let's say my Java branch. I have created a branch named as Java branch because let's say I'm working on to an application. Let's say I'm building a Twitter application, and then all the code that I am writing, I'm writing or I'm making would be written onto Java, right? So I would be working onto a separate branch known as Java branch, and whatever things, whatever pieces or application or MVP or anything, whatever the application module onto which I am working, I would be working onto my Java branch, right? So my Java branch would be containing the master file one as well. I already told you why it's gonna contain. Why? Because it got generated from my master branch. If my master branch was containing two files, master file one, master file two, it would be containing those stuff as well, because it got generated the same way. Like we, when we give birth, or when somebody takes birth onto this particular earth, they inherit something from their parents, right? Because they have been derived from their own parents, so they are going to inherit that particular feature, right? So you cannot deny that particular fact. So I hope I have made myself clear why this master file one is appearing over here, right? So I'm not going to gonna go into that particular detail, because it will again take a lot of time, and I don't want my lecture to go big lengthy, right? So till now what we have done, that we have created master file, and we also created a particular branch as well. So now just move on it onto this particular branch. Let's say I am going to move on to Java branch, right? I have only one thing that was onto master file. Now since I'm a Java developer, I'm going to write my Java code, right? So create a particular file, let's say touch Java code file 1. This is my coding file in which I'm going to write my Java code, and this is my very first file. I'm just going to write it. I've created it, right? So I'm gonna append something onto it. let's say Java code file 1. This is my code for hello world. Let's say I'm just taking an example, weird example. Enter Control D. Remember, you need to press Control D, right? When you cat something. Okay. ls, now there are two files onto this particular branch. I hope till now it is clear. Control L, ls, there are two files on which branch you are again onto Java branch. Okay. And now you need to understand the very basic concept of Java, of git merge. Okay. So now I am containing, so over here, since I'm just giving a demo for understanding purpose, but in real life there may be n number of files, java files, right? It can be Java file 1, Java file 2, Java file 3, Java file 4, Java file 25, 35, because a lot of coding, developers are writing onto the backend, or even automation testers are writing a lot of code for each and every page. Okay. So if you think from that perspective, from that point of view, there would be a lot of files that would be getting generated, and you need to merge it onto your master branch. Okay. So there is only one command in order to merge the code that is coming from Java branch onto the master branch. Again, just check it over here. It is showing two files. I'll simply add it, git add, because I need to add it so that this code is in alignment, or this code becomes a property of Java branch only, because Java code is written, so it should be a property of Java branch only. Okay. So git add space dot do git status. Okay, so now it is onto my staging file as well. I'll simply do a git commit. Git commit hyphen m, my first Java code. Okay, I've committed it over here as well. So control L, I'll just do it control L. On which branch I am, again just check your branch. I should have been onto Java branch itself. So correctly I'm on Java branch, and now Java code file 1 is now my property. Why? Because I have committed it. I told you guys earlier in one of my examples where, Catherine was with Jason or something kind of stuff like that. So until and unless a person gets committed to another person, only then they can be called that, they are committed, that kind of stuff. So what is the essence of what I've said? Just check out your branch. Go to your master branch. That is it. You are not seeing the file of Java code file. Why? Because I committed it over there. And now, since now it's the delivery time, and I have to give my application to my clients. So now the code should be on the master branch, because we normally give our master branch at the end of each and every sprint, or whatever you say. Um, Everything is onto master branch, and it should be onto master branch, because nobody works onto your main branch. Everybody works separately on separate modules on different branches, so that your main branch, which is your trunk, does not gets hampered, right? So this code has, or it is required to be merged over here. I did a git branch. So I am onto master branch. I can see only one file. I want the code of Java code file 1 from this particular branch. So how to do that? Control L. Go to your master branch. Currently I am onto master branch. This is the way I follow. You can follow any other way, but currently just check your branch. I normally tend to be over here onto my master branch, right? Git merge. Which branch code you want to be merged onto the master branch? I want Java branch code. Just simply the name of your branch. That is it. That is it, guys. I have merged my code onto my master branch. If I do ls over here, see, now I have the code of your Java branch as well. Similarly, there can be n number of branches. Like in big organization, there are some people who are working on Java, there are some people working on Ruby, some working on Python. They all merge their code onto your master file, and then they can carry on, irrespective of the application, or not irrespective of the application. So it ideally it would be in only one language, but just for the sake of making you guys understand, let's say I am a Python developer and I have created my Python branch, and I write code I just simply wrote my code and then I'll merge it. So this was the whole thing that you needed to understand how your branches are merged, right? So again, if I do git branch, I want to my master branch. These are the two files that were available to me. Let's create another branch. Git branch, let's say Ruby branch or Python branch. Python. It is in trend, right? So git checkout. First, go to your Java branch. How many files you can see? You can only see your Java file over here, right? Okay, great. Now go to your Python branch. There is no file over here. Simply create your one file. Touch Python code file one. Okay, cat it. Add some data into it. Your Python code file one. This is the code for the Python, right? Hit enter, then do control D, then do control ls. Okay, onto which branch you have written. Keep checking your branch, guys. Keep checking your branch, otherwise you'll get confused. This is very easy, and just keep on checking it, right? And if you want, since I am a Python developer, I want my Python branch should contain Python code only. So simply add and commit it. And number of times I've told you guys why we do add and commit, so I'm not going to repeat that again and again. I hope you guys are understanding the concept. This is my first Python code. That is it, right? Now my Python file got committed to my branch. If I just check out to my Java branch, my Python code should not be there, first and foremost. ls. So my Python code is not there. That's for sure. And this is what I wanted, right? Now I want my Python code again to be here onto my Java branch. So this is branch to branch merge, right? Go to your then Java branch, get check out Java branch. I'm already on Java branch. Control L. Keep on checking your branch, guys. Keep on checking so that you are not confused. So git merge Python branch. Do ls. I have the code of Python as well. So guys, the second time what I did is an example of branch to branch merge, and the first time what I did was example of branch to master merge. So this is it. This is all for this particular part. Where is that particular part? That is git merge on master branch, and we also did merge from one branch to the another branch. That was the lab part. Okay, and now guys, we are going to understand the concept of git reset and git revert. Okay, so guys, what is git reset and what is git revert? There is a basic difference onto these particular aspects or these particular uh, commands and the concept. So you need to understand that we normally use git reset even before we have committed. So this is the first thing that you can put it into your mind so that you do not forget that reset means before commit and revert means after commit, right? So git revert you only use once you have committed something, right? If you have committed that yes, I will give you $100, then onto that particular stuff you will be needing to do git revert. But if before committing something, you can make use of git reset. So why do we use git reset? Over here what I have written, these are my own words. You can check the git documentation or google it out. So this is what I have understood, and this is easier as well, guys, right? So if by mistake we have added our code to the staging area, we can delete it from the staging area. That is it, right? It is done onto a private file and it is used to reset the staging area before any commit is made. So what is my what the hell I'm talking about? Get back to this particular diagram I told you guys earlier itself, right? So there are three particular aspects onto your working directory. When you write something code and when you add it, it goes onto the staging area, right? But when you say you commit it, then only it goes into your local repository, right? So git reset works from here to here, right? Let's say if for a particular organization I have written some sort of code and that code is faulty, right? But due to some I was not paying attention, I just sent it to the staging area. I can, put back it, or I can simply remove it from the staging area. So this is what for git reset is basically used. I'll show you guys into the demo part. Okay, so let's quickly get back onto the demo section. So my machine is still on, I am onto my particular branch, onto my Java branch, right? Let's say I am onto my Java branch and I have creating some another code. Okay, create a file. Touch Java code file 2. Okay, add something onto it. Java code file 2. This is, let's say, another code for file 2. Hit enter, control and D, right? You can check whatever I've written over here, right? Just control L and keep checking your branch. Keep checking your branch, because in the earlier stages you need to keep checking it. After that, you guys would be able to learn that, because a developer normally works. If I talk about a particular sprint, a developer normally works on only 1 to 2 to 3 branches, because he works on to 3 different user stories. So these are technical aspects that I have talked about. Very soon I'll be guys bringing about lectures on agile and scrum as well. So I'll let you know what I have talked about over here, right? So nothing to worry at this point of time. So onto this particular branch, I've created Java code file 2. Okay, I just check my status. What is my status as of now? This file has not been added to my staging, right? So I'll just add it to the staging part. I'll do ls, I'll do git status. This is now onto my staging area, right? But after some time I realized that, oh no, what the hell I've done. Everything which I wrote was totally incorrect. And if it gets committed, then everybody would be able to see that particular piece of functionality onto the application, which an application is live. I mean, n number of lakhs of people will say that what has happened to this particular site, right? So although it is not committed, it is still in staging. But I don't want it to get committed. So in order to remove this particular file from the staging area, Java code file, please visualize, my Java code file over here is in staging area and it contains the wrong code. My Java code file 2, right? I hope this is right. This is onto staging area and I do not want it to get moved onto my local repository. I want it to be removed. I want it to be eradicated, that kind of stuff, right? So there was a one simple command, git reset, and the name of your file. And it will only remove your file from the staging area. So git reset Java, sorry, Java code file to tab it. And I think it got removed. Git status, see? And now it is not in onto my staging area. It is again onto my working directory. It has come back to my working directory, and now I will do something over here and I can update my code and I can write the correct code at this point of time. Okay, so this was all about this particular git reset, and that is it. Nothing technical, very easy. Git reset. There is just one more command for git reset hyphen hyphen hard. Now I'll tell you what this command is going to do. It will remove your file from the staging and working area as well. Let's take the example of this file as well. Okay, I'll just update this particular file again. Java code file 2. This is second wrong code. Just check the contents. Okay, so this time I have updated it. Initially there was written this is code for file 2, and this time I've written this is second wrong code. Okay, This is onto my working directory. I'll simply check my git status. I'll do git add. It is now onto my staging part. Just check it with the help of git status. Right. Again, I realized that again I've written some wrong code over there. Again, I do not want it to be committed. So just write this git what is the command? Git reset. Yes, git reset hyphen hyphen hard. Right. So if I do ls, I don't know why it is not getting typed. There is some issue, guys. Yeah. So guys, can you see that the files got simply removed? Java code file too. What I told you guys earlier. If I do git status, there is nothing for me to commit, and this file is neither present in the staging area, and this file is neither present onto my working directory. I wanted it to be completely eradicated from even from my working directory, and that too even from my uh, this staging area. And so this is what git reset does normally. It is its scope is limited till staging area and working directory, you can understand, right? By something you have added but you do not want it to go further, just remove it. And if you want to hard delete this particular file, you see, if you believe that it won't happen by just correcting 10 lines of code. Entire code I have written is totally and absolutely wrong. Whatever I wrote 150 lines of code was a piece of bullshit. I should remove it from my working directory as well. So for that, use this particular command, git reset hyphen hyphen hard, right? So that this was all about git reset. So we have covered our third part as well, and now coming back to the last and final part, that is git revert. Let's go through the theory part. It helps you to undo a particular commit. Commit can never be deleted as well, and it won't be deleting any data on your latest commit on which some buggy code was committed. Right, let's say you committed some code which was totally incorrect, and if you do git revert, then it does not means that it is going to delete whatever you written. It is just simply going to put you into your previous place, into your initial starting phase where you started writing something, and from place where you started writing incorrect, so incorrect part would be removed and your previous state would be restored. So what I said, I think you guys won't be able to understand. So okay, allow me to explain it with the help of via a time machine sort of example. Right? Allow me to open my MS Paint and make you guys understand what I'm trying to say. So guys, let's say I'm onto my year 2020, right? And please try to understand this will clear all your doubts, right? So this is my year. The brush is very bad. This is also very bad. Guys, I'm really very bad onto these particular things. Let's say I'm in year 2021. I hope it makes sense. Although I'm in 2021, this today is 8th of November, Monday, right? So at this particular point of time, guys, let's say it is a time machine. This box is nothing but is a time machine, right? And after that, I reach 2070. Okay, let's say this particular point of time my age is x, right? My income is y, and I am uh, working on to z organization. Z is my organization, my income is y, right? And my age is x. Okay, somehow somebody told me, just go into this particular time machine and reach onto this particular place. Let's say reach Ohio in 2070. Okay guys, so I went into this particular time machine, and what happened that in 2070 when I reached over there, my age was something else. My age got increased or even decreased. my income at that particular point of time was, let's say, very much increased. And the organization into which I was working, I was not working into any organization, I was having my own company, right? I was working onto my own company, and this is a totally different world for me. I mean, the way we like to buy water bottles today, in the future I'm buying oxygen at like $190 per liter, right? So this is a very weird kind of situation, and I did something, I committed something onto the time machine, and the result is that, something happened to me in the year 2070, and this is what I'm not liking it. So now I am the same, but certain attributes have been changed. These are the changed attributes over here at this point of time. Okay. So now I want myself to restore back to 2021. I am not liking 2070. I am born in 19s or 20s. I'm not liking the world of 2070. Not at all. Right. So what will happen? My existence over here, you cannot say that my existence that I went to 2070 is getting ignored. But still, if I teleport myself or transport myself again with the help of time machine, I am restored back again to my 2021, that is 11th of November. Okay, and at this point of time, I can start writing my own destiny. I can start doing works, greater works, better works, or n number of works, and then I can move ahead onto my life, onto my branch, onto my master branch. Let's say. Okay, but I didn't like this particular concept of going to 2070, and something bad happened. So this is my commit. Let's say it has having my commit id 19, and this was having my commit id 18, right? So I wrote something wrong code and I went to 2070. Now I want to, I just want to revert it back, so that I can again write my code, my karmas, and I can move ahead, right? So this was all about this particular git revert kind of stuff. This is how it works. So let's get back to the theory part as well. Again, it helps you to undo a particular commit. Like I went to 2070, it will allow me to come back to 2020, 2021, and the commit can never be deleted, which means that, if you commit something, I went to 2070. This is the reality, but you cannot say that you never went. You cannot delete this. Again, there would be one new chapter onto my life. Let's say this was my 2021, this is my 2071, again 2021, my life got restored, but here is the path of 2070 that I already traveled. So this will not get deleted, this will still remain. I hope I am making sense, although it is very sci-fi. But still, uh, you guys need to understand. So let's get our hands dirty onto this particular aspect, and please try to understand what git revert is all about. I'll do ls over here. uh, this is my git branch. Let's move on to my python branch. There are only three files. Create one more file, let's say touch python final. This is the commit one, right? Control D, do git added, git status, just commit it, git commit hyphen m. I'm committing something, I've committed it, right? So if I do git status, everything is clean, nothing to commit. Okay, I'll do ls. So again, let's say I am going to write something wrong onto this particular file, python final. Okay, doing something wrong, go in 2070. Let's say, let's just assume control D, right? Again I added it, again I committed it, git commit hyphen m 2070 wrong code. Okay, so just check the contents of this particular file. So first I committed this and then I committed this particular thing. Okay, so the command says that git revert commit id. With the help of this wrong code, if this particular wrong code goes into production, a hell lot of things are going to happen. You may even leave your job as well. So I just checked the git log, and it is, since it is asking for my commit id, this was my wrong code, right? And I want to get back to my this particular part, that is 2021. Okay, simply copy a little bit over here, do git revert git revert, right click over here, hit enter, hit insert. I do not want to go to 2070. That was wrong code. Ignore it. Ignore it. Right. Hit escape. Colon WQ. Come back. Right. And if you do over here ls and just if you open your file python final, I am back to my 2020. This is the commit. This is what I wrote, right? And after that, I did another commit. Like I told you guys into my example. First, I did this particular commit. I said that this is wrong code. Then I again committed something, as a result of which, something bad was going to happen, because this is also another commit and it came with the commit ID 19. I already told you guys, but I don't want to commit ID 19 because this wrong code should not go to the client. Okay, so just do git revert, come back to your previous place where you started writing your initial code, and then go ahead similarly in the same way, come back to 2020, clean your commas, start doing good works, start doing things so that other people can benefit from your knowledge and skill. And I hope everything would be okay into your life as well. Okay, so this is what guys all about this particular lecture. I Actually, this has gone a little bit big. It's above my expectation. I thought I would be able to, wrap it up quickly, but this was very important, and we as a human being tend to do a lot of mistakes. So git reset we already needed to know in advance, and git revert was very important, one of the commands of git. Okay, so guys, I hope you have definitely liked my lecture, and if there are something things that I need to improve, just let me know to the comment section. And thank you for your time, and thank you for your patience as well. Thank you, thanks a lot.